I'm Corey Pressman, and I'm here with Stephen Woodall, and we're doing another Exprema Talks interview. And Stephen, why don't you tell everyone who you are?
I am the director of the Center for Book and Paper Arts at Columbia College in Chicago, where I also am directing something we're calling the Radical Publishing Project.
Love that. That we could just end there, and I'd be happy. So we've been hanging out all day. It's a lot of fun. I invite anyone out there in the world to come by Exprema and hang out for a day. This was a lot of fun. So yeah, anyone else is welcome.
Yeah.
So it's glad we had a good time.
Yeah. Good
We had
restaurant
lunch. We went
downstairs.
down to Olympic Provisions and had the what did you have?
Yeah, as a result, we have
I had
5
pie,
minutes
yeah.
to do this.
Right. Okay, that's right. So we only have 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So the way this works is I give whoever I'm interviewing a prompt or 2 or 3 to react to based on the discussions we've been having. So I have 2 prompts for Steve, and the first prompt is the human thumb.
The human thumb.
Yes.
Yeah, it evolved, it turns out, for something more, we find, than hitting the space bar on a computer. My previous job was as artistic director at the San Francisco Center for the Book, where we ran an ungodly number of workshops in the book arts, including about 100 a year in letterpress printing. The people who were taking the letterpress printing classes all tended to be mainly young graphic designers in their 20s and 30s who were very typographically sophisticated. They had gone to good design schools, but maybe they had never seen or handled a piece of metal type set by hand to be printed on a letterpress. And we found that they really responded to that. They went for it in a big way. And the theory that I evolved is about the opposable thumb. And it feels to me that creative people who spend all day looking at a screen in a kind of disembodied state are hungry for the feel of real materials and putting their opposable thumb to work in a way that almost suggests
non-spacebar activity.
Yeah, it almost suggests something like a vitamin deficiency where you have a craving for something. You know, in this case, it was using their hands. I also think that has a lot to do with the popularity of the DIY movement.
Right, but the more computerized we become. So
Yeah.
you would recommend designers of the digital variety to get out from the screen and tinker more?
Well, I do a lot of thinking about the role of materiality in the context of digital culture. You know, where does that leave the material playing?
Right, and that's hence the book argument.
Yeah.
I wonder, well, I guess, you know, when your thumb hurts when you hold a Kindle for too long. Do you think there's a...
Well, I think that part of the reason for the widespread acceptance of the iPad when it first came out had something to do with the touch screen, which is putting your
thumb and having it more
into
haptic.
a touch gesture.
It's true.
I don't, just a thought.
All right.
Yeah.
I like it. That was good for a thumb.
Yeah.
Our second prompt, based on our discussions today, was that seances came up, which don't always come up when I'm talking to people. So seance is your next.
Oh, okay. My more
concept of
extended
seance.
and kind of out there metaphor.
Because people might lift during.
Yeah, we were talking about this, and I reminded me of something that I wrote, so I called it up on my computer so I could remember what it was. And my note is, I sometimes think of the internet as a ghostly because not material meta-organism with content channeled in an efficient and reliable seance through hosts, mediums, to keep the metaphor going. As an organic form, the culture engendered by the internet is constantly evolving and mutating. An organic form is, of course, mortal by definition, but the species survives through regeneration. This is culture as biology, right? And, of course, extinction is also a biological concept.
Right.
In fact.
And the digital.
Yeah, and it's something we worry about a lot. I think there's a lot of concern, and there should be a lot of concern about preservation of digital material.
Right,
You know,
because of its lack of
there's so
physicality.
much profit motive in generating this stuff, distributing it, and selling it, but I don't think there's enough thought given to preserving it.
Right. And it's like you had said earlier, it's kind of like it's broadcast
Right.
and received digitally, but it's not imprinted in a physical form.
Right. So, Corey, we met at the
So-
Books and Browsers Conference
Right.
at the end of October at the Internet Archive, which
Right.
is actually
Right.
the role of this place is to try to preserve what is evanescent, which shows up on websites and then disappears.
Right.
You know. So that's a step in the right direction, but I think there's a lot of work to be done.
And yeah, it's intimidating. But then I also just like the idea of the internet as ghosts, as ghostly. That it's kind of ephemeral.
Yeah. Well,
It's yeah,
for what it's worth.
it's spooky. All right, thanks, Steve.
Good.
Thanks so much.
You're
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Bye.